name is Allison Carter. Child Protective Services was involved in my trafficking. I never thought that we would see the day where Diddy would get arrested. They're ducking and hiding because everybody knows that there was children there.
People built these tunnels. There's a lot of elite celebrities. They go down there for parties underneath the Getty.
Denzel Washington, Beyonce Knowles, Ellen DeGeneres. Do you want me to keep going?
Right now, that something is really wrong. Really wrong. The world will find out soon.
Allie Carter has come forward with serious accusations that not only point to Diddy, but also involve some of Hollywood's biggest names.
I was at a Diddy party. I was one of the party favors. But I told you, nobody tells on Diddy. Maria Z, I did that interview in 2021, 7 months ago. We made sure, I already knew, that Diddy and Oprah is about to get arrested.
From rumored secret parties to hidden tunnels under the Playboy Mansion, she's revealing secrets with no end in sight.
Look it up. Why would the military get underground training in infrared? Why? You want me to tell you why? Because there's ventilators underground. There's ventilators. There's a different oxygen life. There's different lights. There's a different world. Under this.
But what exactly did she witness? And why is she calling out Denzel Washington, Jay-Z, Oprah, and others who've stayed quiet for so long?
I never thought that we would see the day where Diddy would get arrested. And I told you guys in that Maria Z interview in 2021 that no one tells on Diddy. P. Diddy. All right? Just the same way nobody tells on Denzel Washington.
Allie Carter is stirring the pot, pulling back the curtain on what she calls the dark side of Diddy's world. And she's not holding back. She claims Diddy isn't just guilty of inappropriate behavior, but is tied to a shadowy network involving some of the most powerful names in Hollywood. Carter says she's a victim of Diddy and has shared disturbing stories from his infamous parties, where guests were allegedly pushed to participate in shocking, jaw-dropping activities. But it gets even crazier. According to Carter, the legendary Denzel Washington, known for his strong values and clean reputation, was caught up in this mess for at least one night. That's right, she's claiming that even Denzel got an insider look at Diddy's wild, secretive world. But before we delve into her explosive accusations, let's take a moment to understand who Allie Carter is. Carter might not be a household name like the celebrity she's calling out, but she has certainly made a significant impact online and in various circles with her allegations. She describes herself as a survivor of the dark side of the entertainment industry, where she claims to have witnessed and experienced exploitation and manipulation firsthand. Carter's claims against some of the biggest names in the entertainment world have thrust her into the public eye. She has become one of the most outspoken voices, not just against Diddy, but also against a network of powerful men who, according to her, have used their influence in harmful and dangerous ways. Despite the weight of her accusations, Allie continues to fight for her truth and expose what she believes is happening behind closed doors. One of the core elements of Allie Carter's claims against Diddy is the idea that he uses his power to control not only his image, but also the people around him. Carter alleges that Diddy has created an environment where people are forced to comply with his wishes or face serious consequences. Whether it's artists under his Bad Boy Records label or individuals within his social circle, Carter suggests that Diddy operates in a way that keeps people under his thumb. People think they can break into this industry and make it big, but they don't know what happens behind the scenes, Carter said in a recent interview. Diddy's influence goes beyond the music. It's about controlling people's lives. But it doesn't stop there. She also claims that this manipulation extends to silencing those who dare to speak out. Carter has stated that Diddy's reach in the entertainment world is so vast that he has the ability to blacklist people from opportunities and use his connections to intimidate those who challenge him. For anyone who crosses him, the consequences could be far-reaching, making it clear that Diddy's grip on the industry isn't just about influence, but about exerting power through fear. She even claims that there have been satanic rituals, where participants are allegedly told they must engage in intimate activities with bloody body parts.
Yes, there were shrines used for rituals. There's places. There's parts where there's limbs. People cut off limbs and want you to have sex in it. There's blood. There's blood that I don't even know who it belongs to. There's a lot.
Now, as you've probably heard by now, Diddy has never been one to shy away from his reputation for throwing some of the most lavish and over-the-top parties in Hollywood. His gatherings in hotspots like the Hamptons, Los Angeles, and Miami Beach have become practically legendary, known for their wild energy, exclusivity, and the who's who of the entertainment world in attendance. These parties are the stuff of Hollywood legend, attracting A-listers from every corner of the industry. But here's the thing. These bashes apparently go beyond what anyone could imagine, even by Hollywood's notorious standards. And guess who may have witnessed it all firsthand? None other than Denzel Washington. The story goes that Denzel and his wife Petta were once invited to one of Diddy's infamous parties back in the early 2000s. According to insiders, the night at Diddy's party started with all the glitz and glamour you'd expect: luxury, star-studded faces, and the kind of high-energy vibe that Hollywood is known for. But as the night wore on, things reportedly took a darker turn. Denzel, a man who was raised with strong values and is open about his faith, wasn't exactly impressed by what he saw. By the early hours, it seemed like he'd had enough. Sources claim that around dawn, Denzel confronted Diddy directly, shouting, "You don't respect anyone," before he and his wife Petta stormed out of the party. What exactly set Denzel off isn't clear, but his reaction suggests he witnessed something that deeply went against everything he stands for. Known for being grounded and for never tolerating disrespect, Denzel's move added yet another layer to his reputation as someone who won't compromise his principles, no matter how shiny the Hollywood glitz is. This all reportedly went down in 2003 at one of Diddy's infamous mansions, though the exact location, whether it was the Hamptons, Los Angeles, or Miami, is unclear. Diddy's parties have often been described as freak-offs, where the host's desires take center stage and anything goes. The indictment laid out in detail just how outrageous these freak-offs really were, revealing a dark side that's hard to ignore. And if you didn't know, Diddy's legal troubles are piling up fast. According to lawyer Tony Busby, 120 people are lining up to file lawsuits against him, an avalanche of accusations that could shake his entire empire. But Diddy isn't the only one in the spotlight. Ally Carter didn't stop there. She pulled Jay-Z's name into the mix as well. And when it comes to Jay-Z, she didn't hold back.
And people that you don't talk about because you just don't. There were certain people that I seen down there, from Beyonce, Jay-Z.
Ally also pulls back the curtain on these so-called VIP sections in Diddy's parties. And they weren't just upscale lounge areas with bottle service. According to her, these spaces were designed for high-profile guests like Jay-Z and Naomi Campbell, giving them private access to young girls in ways that should never happen. And Ally's story isn't an isolated one. She describes manipulation tactics used to make young people feel special or chosen, the same tactics we've heard in accounts from other survivors. She's not the first to reveal this pattern, and the fact that her story aligns with others makes it all more disturbing. But that's just scratching the surface. Ally's details only get darker. She claims these parties were meticulously planned to keep people inside feeling too scared, confused, or too young to ever speak out. It's only recently, following Diddy's legal battles, that things began to unravel. Some believe that once his protectors stepped back, the media and authorities finally started paying attention to the long-buried rumors. It's as if a curtain has been lifted, exposing Diddy to legal issues that never stuck before. But Ally's claims don't just linger on Hollywood parties. She dives deeper, hinting at a hidden network of tunnels beneath LA, connecting some of the city's most exclusive estates.
I've been there, I've done that. So I'm telling you right now, there are entrances and exits in manholes in the ocean. Why do you think certain people have private submarines? Why do you think they need a submarine? Why do you think I say there's every source of transportation under the ground? So who are we? I'm trying to grasp, who are we protecting besides children? Well, nobody's talking about.
Imagine having a secret maze allowing celebrities to move around undetected, with pathways connecting high-profile spots, like the Playboy Mansion, to private homes. Ally insists this isn't just Hollywood gossip. It's an open secret among the elite, a hidden world that lets them gather privately and stay completely off the grid. But Ally Carter isn't alone in these accusations. Jaguar Wright, a soul singer turned whistleblower, has added her voice, unveiling disturbing claims about Hollywood's hidden world. According to Wright, these tunnels under Los Angeles aren't just for secret gatherings. They may cover up far darker activities. Wright paints a picture of an underground network, almost like a hidden city, accessible only to Hollywood's elite. Originally built during Prohibition, these pathways have reportedly morphed into clandestine venues where the powerful can operate beyond the reach of public scrutiny. Wright claims that some of Hollywood's biggest players use these tunnels to carry on in secrecy, with high-profile estates like Diddy's Beverly Hills mansion connecting to these hidden routes. These passages were designed to keep people in, not just let them wander around. Some allege that it's nearly impossible to locate the exits or even know where each tunnel leads. It's a setup that guarantees privacy, but for those trapped, it may feel more like a labyrinth of control.
Information and what you can hide. Not what you can prove, but what you can hide. Why ain't nobody talking about the fact that those Diddy tunnels go to Hugh Hefner's house? Allegedly.
For those who may not know, the Playboy Mansion has long been at the center of some pretty disturbing accusations, many of which were brought to light in the docuseries Secrets of Playboy. This series dives deep into the darker side of the mansion, uncovering a world of alleged SA, illegal substances, and exploitation involving some very high-profile names like Bill Cosby and Roman Polanski. Women have bravely stepped forward, sharing their harrowing stories of being intoxicated unwillingly and SA'd by celebrities and VIPs who roam those famous halls. But it's not just about the individuals, it's the entire culture that was fostered at the mansion. According to the accounts of former Playboy bunnies and employees, there was a systematic culture of mistreatment and cover-ups that protected the powerful while silencing the victims. From exploitation to mistreatment, their stories paint a grim picture of what really went on behind those iconic gates. And as shocking as it sounds, the series makes it clear that these were not isolated incidents. They were part of a larger, toxic environment, and at the center of it all was the late Hugh Hefner, a man known for his lavish and controversial lifestyle. Hefner was incredibly selective about who he invited to his famous parties, but what many don't realize is just how exclusive it truly was, especially when it came to certain A-list celebrities. There's an urban legend that Playboy built tunnels in the 70s to sneak in high-profile guests, and as it turns out, there's some truth to that. According to Playboy's own website, these tunnels did exist, and they even have blueprints to prove it. The tunnels were designed to lead directly to the homes of famous names like Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, Kirk Douglas, and James Caan, who all lived near the mansion during the late 70s and early 80s. Although the exact dates of the tunnels are unclear, Polaroid photos from 1977 offer some context. Playboy kept a tight lid on these tunnels, choosing not to publicize them further. But what insiders have shared about the infamous pig nights at the mansion reveal even darker truths. These gatherings, held by Hefner every Thursday, were notorious for their wild, unrestrained behavior. Employees claimed that the editor-in-chief and others would turn a blind eye while Hefner engaged in questionable acts. The guest list wasn't just any list. It had a ranking system for the women who attended, with ratings from 10 to 6, dictating how they were treated. A source told TMZ that Hugh Hefner would sit at the head of a table while models mingled with various film and TV stars. But it wasn't just about the glamour. There were medical checks before any activities took place. The doctor would inspect the models for anything that might be detrimental to Hefner's friends. The girls, as they were called, were referred to as pigs by Hefner, though the butlers were instructed not to use the term. It was all part of what was known as Pig Night, but life at the Playboy Mansion was far from the glamorous fantasy it seemed to be. Former Playboy models and girlfriends have revealed the harsh reality behind the scenes. What started as an exclusive dinner party would quickly turn into chaotic gatherings filled with strange rituals and rigid rules, making life at the mansion much more confining than it appeared. Over the years, several former playmates have shared their darker stories about living in the mansion. Holly Madison, one of Hefner's former girlfriends, opened up about how she felt trapped. In her book, Down the Rabbit Hole, she described the mansion's iconic metal gates, which were meant to keep the public out, but felt more like a prison to her. Kendra Wilkinson, another former girlfriend, also struggled with the experience. She was 18 when she first met Hefner, who was 78 at the time. Kendra described her time at the mansion as more of a job than a relationship, where she had to rely on alcohol and illegal substances just to get through the nights. She recalled Hefner even telling her to lose weight, making her feel insecure in an environment that heavily emphasized appearance. Isabella St. James, a former playmate, shared similar uncomfortable memories, including a weekly ritual where the girls had to visit Hefner's room to receive their allowance. They often had to wait while Hefner picked up after his dogs, a process that included him criticizing the women for not meeting his expectations. Whether it was about their social harmony or participation in private gatherings, missing a going-out night could mean a deduction from their allowance, a form of control Hefner used to keep them in line. Carla Howe, another former model, described the strict 9 p.m. curfew they had to follow, and how they weren't allowed to invite friends over. This isolation made it clear that life at the mansion wasn't just about fame and luxury. It was a carefully controlled environment designed to keep the women under Hefner's thumb. Now, if you've been keeping up with Diddy, you'll know that these accusations really seem to mirror what happened at Diddy's infamous freak-offs. It's almost as if Diddy became the son of Hugh Hefner, inheriting his darker traits. Adding to the suspicion is the fact that over the years, Diddy has acquired these very tunnels, some of which even connect to his house, linking up with the other hidden locations. But Wright's revelations go deeper than just secret rooms and hidden pathways. She suggests that there are powerful, untouchable forces at play, forces that have worked tirelessly to keep these secrets buried. For years, these underground connections shielded the industry's elite from scrutiny. But now with the walls beginning to crumble, what else could come to light? Wright also hints at other dark mysteries, like the fate of Kathy White, saying that the true story of her death remains hidden and that others have suffered similarly. According to her, those who try to speak up often face systemic silencing, or even threats to their lives. This isn't the first time whistleblowers have tried to expose these underground networks, only to be dismissed or ignored. Now, for context, Kathy White was one of Jay-Z's rumored mistresses back in 2011, and her story takes a dark, mysterious turn. Kathy suddenly died of what was reported as a brain aneurysm, but this happened right as she was working on a book that allegedly involved Jay-Z. She was found dead in her apartment, and the circumstances left many uneasy. Hollywood Street King even dropped a bombshell claiming Kathy was pregnant with a baby boy when she passed, adding a new layer of suspicion. With Jay-Z married to Beyoncé at the time, rumors swirled that he may not have wanted any outside children, and some speculated that foul play might have been involved. To make matters stranger, an NYPD detective allegedly spoke to Hollywood Street King, hinting that Kathy's death wasn't as simple as the official report suggested. According to the detective, the cause of death remained questionable, and Kathy's sudden passing has been clouded in mystery ever since. The story has reignited curiosity, drawing comparisons between Jay-Z and Diddy. Jay-Z's calm, calculated public persona stands in stark contrast to Diddy's impulsive, headline-grabbing behavior, yet both seem to share a pattern of secrecy when it comes to protecting their images. Now, according to Carter, the connection between Jay-Z and Diddy goes far beyond their music collaborations. She claims that Jay-Z is aware of, and might even be involved in, the darker activities that happen behind the scenes in the entertainment industry. While Carter hasn't provided concrete proof, she strongly suggests that Jay-Z's close relationship with Diddy should raise serious questions about his own role and involvement in the power dynamics at play. In a public statement, Carter remarked, "Jay-Z may appear clean on the outside, but when you're that close to someone like Diddy, you can't ignore what's happening around you. There's a whole network of powerful people protecting each other, and Jay-Z is a part of that." As Ally Carter continues to share her story, the public reaction has been both supportive and critical. On one side, there are those who believe her accusations and see her as a brave whistleblower exposing the truth about Hollywood's darkest secrets. These supporters praise Carter for her courage and insist that her story needs to be taken seriously. One person even commented, "Ally is telling 100% truth." Another one chimed in saying, "Victims rarely lie. They usually have no power." On the other side, skeptics have raised questions about Carter's credibility and the lack of concrete evidence to support her claims. They argue that while Hollywood undoubtedly has had its share of corruption and controversy, the allegations Carter is making, especially regarding secret tunnels, sound more like conspiracy theories than fact. But what are your thoughts on this? Comment down below. And while we wait for more updates, make sure to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos as well. Thanks.